Thanks for staying with us. Joining us on the show is an astute and renowned educationist and former Commissioner of Education, Edo State, Professor Ngozi Osarenren. She will be speaking on the Students' Loan Act that was recently signed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Many have asked questions concerning this new proposed bill for student loan, and various people are saying different things from different angles. We need some clarity on what it means to students, the pros and cons, the merits or demerits of this new law that has been signed. What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. Thank you so much, madam, for coming here, Prof.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, the president recently signed this into the Student Loan Act into law, and many have praised it. Others have condemned it. That wasn't well thought out. What are your own initial thoughts on this student loan? Do you think it's workable in our system as it is right now?
Is it workable in our system as it is not right now? Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because the inevitable is going to happen. Increase in school fees. And when there's, not increasing, introduction of school fees. Okay. And when school fees is introduced, many people won't be able to afford to pay. So there's the loan you can access. But the other aspect is the eligibility to access the loan. That is where the problem lies. The eligibility. None of us, none of our children can access the funds. Your floor people, all these people here, their children can't access the loan in terms of eligibility.
How's that? How so? What is that?
Fine, I explain to you. For you to be able to access the loan, you have to come from a household that has a combined income of 500,000 naira a year. And you know, minimum wage is 30,000 naira a month. A year is 720,000.
Yeah.
So even the man that is earning 30,000, excluding the wife, cannot access the loan. The child cannot access the loan. These are the nitty-gritty. And again, tuition is going to be introduced. Some universities have started already. And the loan, assessing the loan, according to the president, when he signed it, will be between September, October, which is usually the beginning of a new session.
Right.
But the process of assessing it, I have to know a level 12 officer.
Yes.
That will be my guarantor. I also have to know somebody that is 10 years post-call as a lawyer. And how many ordinary Nigerians know such people?
Yeah.
You know them, I know them, but our children are not eligible. The people that are eligible don't have access to the people that will be their guarantors. The people that are not eligible are the people that are, and I don't know.
And for me also, I think one of the things I've heard people say is how many Nigerians, because they have to also have guarantors, how many Nigerians are willing to put themselves up as guarantors?
Yes, because
you're supposed to start paying, they say, two
years
years
after
NYSC.
2 years after you service, you and I know that many young people don't get it. Even, okay, we now have a lot of them going into tech and all that and all doing things on their own. But will they have been stabilized enough?
Let me,
and we are talking of 500,000.
Prof, let me introduce this argument people have made. I've said, those who disagree with you will say, for the guarantor, for example, somebody say many people, if they have to travel abroad and go to a foreign university and they say, provide a guarantor, some find a way to get this guarantor because once they need it for a visa to travel, the guarantor somehow come out. I'm just saying what people are saying. somebody will find the guarantor, number one. Number two, others will,
What is the percentage?
I'm just saying that those poor, these 30,000 naira earners who are also trying to go abroad, I'm just giving you an example of what people are saying.
The
These
30,000 naira earners are not the ones going abroad.
I'm just giving you, we'll discuss, we'll debate it. The idea is to have a conversation. Yes, we're looking at both sides because we all can't be on one side.
No, we
to
can't.
have a rich conversation, we need different sides of the angle.
I agree.
So those who are saying that there are people who, if they need guarantors, they will find guarantors they can find. Others are saying that everywhere in the world, student loan is not for everybody. Many people graduate high school, they find a job because they know that they're not eligible to look for a loan. The average foreigner will say, I don't have, my parents are not earning enough for me to have access, we're earning too much, or we're not eligible to get this loan. So across the world, student loan anywhere is not for everybody. So how would you speak to those who are saying it's not for everybody to access these loans in the first place? Why are we assuming that everybody in Nigeria should be eligible to access this loan?
The preamble to this act is that this loan is to make tertiary education accessible to all Nigerian children. Accessibility. So if there's a hurdle, what I'm trying to say in essence, yes, they can have loans, but it's the conditions. The conditions. How are we going to go around it? How are we going to help? If, like you said, because they have to apply, after applying, they don't go direct. It's the dean of from the student affairs unit of the university. If there's a way the university can own it, but again, the university will not be the guarantor. That is where the problem lies. And many, many people, indigent people that need this loan will be shut out. Many indigent students will be shut out.
Yeah, it also says if a household, so does that mean single parents can apply? I'm wondering if single parents, if I'm a mother of a child and I don't have a husband, or my husband died, I mean,
you are the head of that household.
So I would be able to access
if
the
you
loan.
qualify.
Yeah, if I qualify, that's one. Then two, because I know the way it's done abroad, it's not the parents that pay the loan back, it's the children.
It's the children.
But
Here
this
is
one
also the
is-
children.
when they get a job.
But it's through the parents. That's what is confusing me. It's through the parents
No. It's the children.
that they're giving the loan. So what is the business of the parents if they're earning or they're not earning?
No. To establish, you know, we have to have some kind of level playing ground. Because if you don't factor in the parents' angle, the affluent people will take it over. Because from my understanding, the loan is expected to be for the poorest of the poor.
For low-income earning families.
I understand that.
And because education is a leveler, is through education that the child of the poorest man will sit in the same classroom with the child of the richest man. Yeah. And you close that gap. Through education, they become friends. But the issue here now is, how do we help in terms of accessibility? Because the whole idea is to access the loan, to access tertiary education. But how do we do that?
Okay, go ahead.
So, is this open for more input? Or is it that now that
The president has signed it.
So
it's a law.
it's a law already?
Yeah.
With all these criteria that is not really going to work for Nigerians?
Because he went through the National Assembly. It's a bill that the National Assembly...
Push to him for assent.
Yes.
So how do we help the people who are actually supposed to access this loan? Because I know that in Nigeria, if you are earning 1 million a year, you are still very poor. That's like less than 100,000 a month. So if you're already disqualified in that...
I think what just crossed my mind is, you know, let us hold our politicians accountable.
Okay.
Every child comes from a constituency. You have a representative. That representative
Be your guarantor.
should arrange that. Unless you don't want us to vote for you the next time.
Well done, ma.
That is what I think should happen. Because the whole idea is we need to have more access to tertiary education.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with the eligibility clause, many of the people will not be eligible.
Yes.
But they have somebody that is supposed to be representing them, either in the House of Assembly or in the National Assembly.
Even in the local government.
Yes.
As close as local.
So,
One thing that worries me is this jackpot syndrome. If I'm a student and I come and I collect the loan, and before 2 years I
Yes,
see
you're out.
visa to jackpot, that means I will not
Pay back.
pay
Let me
back.
even add to that, YK, because during Jonathan's period, there was U-Win for young people, also helping young people who didn't have money to be entrepreneurs. Half of them took the money and then used it for their businesses. And then they will give the Jonathan government gave them that loan, and they found that a lot of young people never used the loan for their businesses. They just spent the money. So there's also the part of the responsibility that, okay, even if government says, I will give you a loan, when you graduate, what's the guarantee that these people would actually pay back, even if they get the job?
and what is the guarantee that paying back is not a problem in my thinking, because we all have BVN now.
They can trace you.
You are in the national data. You're in
Except
the
you go to Canada.
No, even if you go to Canada, you have guarantors.
So, yeah.
You have guarantors.
So nobody's going to want to be guarantor.
That's where I feel that.
You have guarantors.
Imagine someone goes for a 7-year course.
Yeah.
So you guarantee the person in the first year. 7 years after, you don't know even maybe what has happened if the person jackpot or ran away or. But
No, you ought to know, because you can't guarantee
people
for people you don't
really
know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, I feel like we've discussed like the demerits, but there has to be merits, right?
No, the merit is that our children will have better access to higher
so that's the merit.
education.
Yes.
But again, I believe in being frank. 500,000.
Yes.
Some of the universities that have announced their tuition alone. There's one that is 179.
Public university.
Yes, 179,000. There's another one that is 200 and something. But you know they have to get approval from the federal ministry or the state ministry, as the case may be. So if you are getting 500,000 naira as loan, and you are paying tuition, 200, let's say 200, what about your books? What about your feeding? Or is it the loan is just, there are other charges that you have to pay.
Now, some will also argue, madam, do you think that we should allow this law to even run its course? Well, let's see implemented
It's
first.
not now, President has signed it.
Let us even see how many people get the loan. Let us get the numbers of, okay, how many people had access, how many people did not have access. Maybe some data will now help us to review the bill to ensure.
It will not look nice to sign a law and not start implementation. It won't look nice.
Right.
For me, it's a credibility thing. It has been signed. Let us see how,
Implemented.
yes, how we can go around it. How we can go. There are many, many indigent students.
Absolutely.
There are many of them. And like I said earlier on, we have to hold our representatives accountable. They are the ones we have voted for. They are the ones that will now help these children. Their parents voted for you. They also voted for you. Then you have to help them. Dividend of democracy, what is it? Is it to buy grinding machine for me? Or no. Well, they should help. They should be held accountable. They should help to, because, I mean, there's nothing you can compare with education.
Yeah.
If I didn't go to school, I wouldn't sit down here.
Can I go back to what I was trying to, ask earlier? I've said that we've discussed the ways that this bill may be a bit tricky and does not really cover everyone. But for those that it covers,
Okay.
especially, I know we don't have the data. I know we do have a considerable number of families that this would be helping in some way. And I feel that it's important that we talk about that as well, so that it's not seen as an act that doesn't serve us at all. So I was just wondering, apart from, this trickiness, what are the other things that we're happy about this act? After all, it's the very first time we've ever had something like this in our country. Is it needed or is it not needed?
No, we had student loans before, but
please explain.
it's not.
Okay, and why didn't they work? Do we know?
No, it's all Nigerian factor
Okay.
that made it not to work. It's Nigerian factor.
Good impact.
Yes.
Money
You
squandered.
see, for me, the student loan is good. It is good. But my concern is the eligibility, accessibility, which now defeats the purpose of the law.
First place. Let me pause you for a second. One second. I have a call. I've been holding for a minute. Shola, thanks for calling. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Shola. Go ahead.
Is there any way they can just fine-tune it? I know it's been signed and everything, but maybe fine-tune it.
That's why Prof was saying that
Reviewed
after
us now.
implementation, we'll now look
let
at
us
see,
even
let it
start.
implement it, start it.
And we have
After
supplementary
implementation,
review.
then we can then be reviewed it, because that's the idea, but we must start something.
And the beautiful thing is that the owner of the bill is where the bill was signed. Yes. So by the time we start implementation and we see all the loopholes,
Exactly.
it will now be a time to sit back and review. We talk, I believe in being honest, everything on the table, not under the table. We place all the cards.
So I believe this bill will be reviewed as fast as it's starting. And I would have wished that one of the criteria, maybe when we're looking at the review, is that the people who are eligible to get the loan will be people who are very intellectual. Maybe they've scored, use that benchmark. Because we have realized that not everybody who is putting head in the university is meant to be there.
That is
So that when
correct.
we don't keep churning out, we have a problem. We discussed it yesterday here. We have a problem of sending people to school just because they have to get university education that should have done well in technical schools and other schools.
It is a society.
I know.
It's a society that is seeing a successful person as the person that went to school. And because of that, the poor woman that is selling pepper will struggle to ensure that my child, I'm also a graduate. If you are in a university environment on convocation day, you will appreciate what it means to have educated. All these women we see in the market, they come with their association members with uniform to come and sell. Oh, mommy.
Yes. Yeah. Let me pause for a second, Prof. I have Mr. Kola from Agege. Thanks for calling.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yes, I want to just be part of this and then to say that, look, the act is quite an important thing. I think the previous one failed because there was no law backing it up. And this one, there is a law. We know very well that would just be the foundation for it. And we'll take up with this. I'm sure the incoming State Assembly will tinker with it. As we operate it, they will tinker, look at what is happening, and see how people, whatever bottlenecks are there. So let's please take off with this, and I'm sure we'll get better by the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're going to say something before the break.
No. Well, I'm just hoping that it works for the people that need the loan. And I really do think they should review
The worry, YK, has been the opportunity to pay back, because the possibility that many kids, even after a year or 2 years, don't get a job. So I think Maria mentioned it yesterday that when we fix the economy, a lot of things kind of fall into place, because once the economy becomes more robust, even with a certificate, you can begin to find jobs and become
now,
entrepreneurs.
when you are in final year, they come and interview you and all that.
Yeah.
15, 20, 25 years ago, that was the in thing.
Right.
That we are just praying that in 2 years, after NYSC, that they will get a job.
Yeah.
If not, they will go to jail.
I always remember.
After NYSC, because
2 years,
2 years after
after
NYSC.
You go to jail.
because
Yes, yes, there's a jail term or fine.
You know, I always remember.
Yes,
Yeah.
or fine of 500 or both.
I always remember how even my family members who are doctors in the US, they came to school in Nigeria and they had good education in Nigeria. They went abroad and they got jobs as medical doctors. Their counterparts who are constantly paying loans because they don't want to go to jail in their own country, always envy us. People don't, you're just here, you're just, you know. So they've had a culture of understanding there's something called student loan. If you don't pay back, it will affect your credit. You can end up going to jail. So it's going to take a while for us to get to that level here. But eventually, now as citizens, we begin to see the responsibility.
We'll get to that level. I think we'll get there. It's just that, you know, we tend to reject any new thing that we are not used to.
Thank you, Prof.
Yes, we
reject it first, but we now start saying, okay, let us see if it works.
Before we even synthesize
Yeah.
it, because the law is side though.
It's a lot.
And tuition, I mean,
so this it will put paid to all the ASU strikes, I guess.
I don't know about that.
That's not.
I don't know about that.
That's not guaranteed. That's too far-fetched. Why can't?
I don't know about that because
So after getting low, you now stay 17 years in school instead of 4
I don't know about that because
You started again.
you can't left
Started.
undone those things you need to do and expect things to work the way
Absolutely.
Yes, it doesn't work. You can't have somebody that has been on the same salary scale since 2009 and you are charging some people to come and pay 250,000 for me to teach them when I'm complaining. You see the analogy. So it's a holistic
So we still need that overhaul in the educational system. So it's not about this. This is
It's
just
a
one
holistic thing.
0.0.
The loan is good. Those that can access it, let them access. Those that can not access, we'll pray. You know, we're a very prayerful country. We pray that God will help them.
No, that's not what you said. No, Prof, what we said, we'll push for further review after it's been implemented.
Okay.
And also that their local governments or their representatives should also be their guarantor.
Their
Those are the two solutions you've given us so far.
Yes, their political representatives. We have to hold them accountable.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
Leave prayer first. Leave prayer.
No, prayer, we can't leave. Prayer is also part of it. Because the representative may not be in the right mood to see you. So you have to pray for him or her to be in the
We gotta
right
run. Unfortunately, we run out of time, Prof. But
see
thank you.
Real
No, that is the way it is. And we have to, the loan is good, but the eligibility clauses
needs to be amended.
Yes, needs to be looked at. Don't say amended.
Yes.
Need to be looked. Mind your language.
Okay. No.
Need to be
Okay.
looked
After implementation, we can propose for an amendment.
Yes.
We can still propose for an amendment legally. Yeah.
Go small.
Then you decide it, so you must make sure that the teachers don't strike, because if I collect loan and then you...
That's why I said overhaul. Why can't we're going back to what we're saying? Calm down. The president would provide us a new minister. Okay, let us hold our president accountable to bring in a proper minister of education who can properly champion an overhaul. An overhaul will include, hopefully, ASU's demands, all the other
Not
demands.
hopefully.
Better.
You cannot cry without your eyes.
Oh.
We can end on this.
You cannot cry without your eyes, and you cannot start talking about.
You can cry like this now.
Your eyes are there.
You close your eyes. You don't use your eye now.
But the eye is there.
But your eyes are
Sound.
That's all we can take on today's